Since I've come to Tawheed and I've read about the companions and the Salaf and everyone else, I know who I am. I'm the creation of Allah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim wa salatu wasalam ala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I'm here with Adnan and Rashid, inshallah. Basically, as to revert converts to the deen, what would you say to someone who's thinking about converting, yeah, but he's looking from the outside in, and he's saying there's too much things to do in Islam. You got to give up girls, you got to give up smoking, you got to give up raving, you got to give up drugs. You know, I don't want to be a hypocrite Muslim. What would you say to him? Adnan.
I would say to the person, take your time, take step by step. Nothing happens overnight. Nobody changes overnight. Anyone you see that's a Muslim and been practicing their religion for a long time, it took them a long time to get there. So just try and learn the basics of the religion and try and implement what you can and take your time. Don't come into this religion and think that you're going to be able to do everything tomorrow. It won't work like that. It takes time. Some people it took 5 years, some people it took 7 years, some people it took 10 years. But everything takes time and it's a step-by-step process. Like the Quran was revealed in stages. It wasn't revealed all at once. Even though it could have been revealed all at once, but it was revealed in stages. So that it's more in your heart. Because when you do something and it's stages, it builds you up. So that when other things come, you're stronger. So just take your time and take step by step. And Allah will help you the rest of the way.
Rashid, what would you think a person who believes in Tawheed, believes, you know, there's one God that's not worthy of worship, that God is not a man, not a statue, animal, believes in Jesus, Moses and Muhammad, he believes they're all prophets. He doesn't doubt the concept of God in Islam, but he sees brothers bared, phobe, sisters in niqab, jilbab, and he thinks, I can never be as good as them. What advice would you give to him?
I was in that same situation. Just before I took my shahada, I was thinking, I can't pray 5 times a day, I can't stop selling drugs, I can't do this, I can't do that. So what I'd done is I was trying to look at everything to see what's the greater good, and I realised that I have to take my shahada, because if I die today as a disbeliever, I'll die as a disbeliever and I won't be able to go to paradise. So I took my shahada and somehow I started praying 3 times a day, 4 times. I think by the 3rd day we was praying 5 times a day. It was like 4 of us driving to the mosque, still doing our little bits and bobs. But you know, one thing I learned is, like Adnan said, it's in stages, and you got to take your time. And Allah loves a tryer. You know, just keep trying. Like if you quit, you're a quitter. So on Judgment Day, if you end up in the fire, you know, you quit. It was you that quit. Allah never quit. You quit on Allah. So Allah loves a tryer, and He loves someone that keeps coming back.
So you reckon it's better to be a non-Muslim who's sinning than it's better to be a Muslim who's sinning than a non-Muslim who's not sinning. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Definitely. If Allah told us to do, 50 press-ups every day, even if you can't do it, you should try, because that's the creator of the world. He's asked you to do something. What He's asked us to do is say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, take a shahada, and that's the first acceptance and acknowledgement that He is your Lord and that Muhammad is the messenger.
Inshallah. Okay. What advice would you give to a Muslim who's struggling with the fitna of music? Adnan.
The fitna of music is a big fitna that affects not just people's minds, but it affects their whole personal life. And everybody has to be prepared for the fitna of music in the society that we're living in. You're going to hear music. So how do you counteract this music, if you're a Muslim and you're trying to do that? First thing is make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He guides you. Second thing is that you try to reverse the music. So learn Arabic, learn some Quran, listen to the Quran, find a very good reciter that you like personally, because not everyone's reciter is the same. Someone might like someone who's different to someone, but his reciter touches his heart. So find someone that touches your heart, because music, the main thing that it does is it brings up emotions. That's what music does. So if you have just gone through a breakup with a girl, you're going to want to listen to R&B, you're going to want to listen to slow jams, because that's the kind of mood you're in, and it makes you feel a little bit more better. It makes the breakup easier. But in Islam, we have the Quran. So anything that you're going through, it is mentioned in the Quran. All you need to do is find what you're going through in the Quran, and then it will help you. So you listen to it and it will touch you, because you'll read it and say, it will affect you. But it's because we don't have the understanding of it why it becomes very hard for us. So the thing of music, I'll tell everyone, just start learning Arabic, learn the Quran, listen to the Quran a lot, and whenever the shaitan comes to you to listen to music, always think of something better than that. Think of doing good. Think of, so I'm listening to this music, what benefit am I getting? Because as a Muslim, you're listening to a man selling drugs, but you don't sell drugs, you pray 5 times a day in the mosque. You're listening to a man sleeping with multiple women. You're a married brother. Why are you listening to a man that's talking about fornicating with 50 women in a day? That's not Islam. That's not Islam. Oh, smoking weed. You don't even smoke weed. But you're listening to it. So eventually it's going to have its toll on you. That's why they said the start of zina started from music. And if you see any brothers that commit a lot of zina and a lot of adultery, it's because of music. He listens to the music and it infuses desires inside him. That's what it does. So anyone, I tell you, just learn Quran, learn Arabic, start praying 5 times a day, start praying night prayer, start fasting if you're finding it hard. If you're a Muslim brother and you're in college or something and you're finding music hard, then fast, because when you're fasting, when you're about to commit a sin, you always think, I'm fasting, it's long. And that's why it's a very good thing.
Rashid, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start praying and stuff? They're not praying yet, but they listen to music. What advice would you give to them to give up music, or someone who's trying to get on deen? And because mashallah, Adnan talked about the practicing person, how he should deal with music, or how she should deal with music. How would you advise a person who's not yet practicing and wants to give up music because they know how it has a bad influence on their life?
Well, you know, I've seen that even from myself and from other brothers. When you start to try and get on deen, you know, you might look at the list of things that you do. Like you might smoke, you might drink, you might meet girls, you might do this, you might even eat bacon. So you make a list and then you think, okay, which one am I going to tackle first? It's better that if it takes you 6 months to tackle one thing, it's better that you've minused one thing and you're going to Allah with one less sin, big sin like that you still do. With music, you know, the first thing with every sin and with music is first you've got to be ashamed of it. Because there's a hadith the Prophet ﷺ said, Allah forgives sins, but not the one who displays his sins to the people, exposes his sins. So I advise brothers that listen to music, you know, it's not a show off thing that you pretend to be pious in front of brothers, but you just don't play music in front of brothers. You corrupt another brothers. The moment a brother's coming to your car, you switch it off. He doesn't need to know you're listening to music. That's Allah has made it a sin. You should be embarrassed that you're showing off a sin. Turn off the music, drive the brother to where he needs to go. When he gets out, if you want to put it back on, that's how you start. You first be ashamed. Then the next step is you make dua as well along the way, asking Allah to help you to stop it. And you'll find something will happen, like someone will just come and snap your CD, Allah will make you lose your CD, Allah will make your car just get towed away with your CDs, Allah will make music player break, and your dua will slowly start to get answered if you're sincere.
They start to say things like, I wish I never done this, I wish I never done it. You're a Muslim, you know better, so you should do better. That's a saying that a lot of people say, if you knew better, you do better. Well, you know better, so do better. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all guidance is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Jazakallah. And Rashid Safing, what advice have you got to the sisters that feel they're losing out on the dunya life? You know, when they see their non-Muslim, not friends but counterparts, you know, getting chat up by boys and this, that and the other.
I would say, mashallah, Adnan covered the deen perspective. I would say it's all within the deen, but you sisters, girls, you know, I'm a boy, I've lived that lifestyle, I know how the boys think, we all think the same, yeah? And sometimes these girls don't have bigger brothers to teach them, or dads, or they do, but they're not teaching them. What I would say to these girls, that all these boys, they only want one thing, yeah? And they might pretty it up for you, make it look sweet, sound sweet, all of this, that, but in the end they want one thing, and that's to go and do something with you, innit? What I say to that is, you know, you're gonna open up your legs, but is this guy willing to marry you? That's the real thing, and I'll be real with you. You know, if someone's not willing to marry you, you shouldn't open up your legs to him. It's as simple as that. And if you think, you know, he's worthy of doing that, then he should be willing to marry you. Some men say, oh yeah, we'll get married in the future, all of this later on. But this is how you catch a man up. I'm just giving you a secret now. This is how you catch a man up. You say, speak to my dad, and then we're going to try and get married. And then we can do this thing. And if he's willing to go to that step, then at least he's got some good signs about it, because he's willing to take it halal and willing to go real far with it, inshallah. So that's my advice.
Mashallah, excellent advice. Okay, basically, what advice have you got to the brothers who basically licking man down, you know, robbing secure vans, you know, mashing up Allah's creation and taking people's wealth and properties? What would you say to them as a fellow Muslim brother, because they believe in the same God as us, but obviously they're just living a different lifestyle? What advice would you give to them? Adnan?
Turn back to Allah. Turn back to Allah sincerely. Make tawbah. Because you think that you're living the life and that you're doing anything good and that you're a bad man and all this, but there's no bad man in Islam. There's no bad man. The real man, if you really want to be a real man, a real G, whatever you want to call it, then pray 5 times a day and pray Qiyam al-Layl all night. Let me see you do that every single day for a week. If you're really strong, if you're really tough, wake up for Fajr and walk to the masjid, and walk to the furthest masjid from your house. You're a bad man. You're a shotter. You're this man. You can knock down 100 men. You do this. Let me see you do this for a week, and then come back to me and tell me how you feel. Because I'm guaranteed you will find it very hard. Stealing from people, it's not part of Islam. And you stealing from people, you just imagine what people are thinking of you. So your mum, you want her to become Muslim. Your sister, you want her to become Muslim. But they don't see you change in any way. So how are they going to become a Muslim? So how do you really want Islam for them? Alright, boom, you go to jail now. You've got a baby mother and 2 kids. How do you support them from prison? Will you sell more drugs in prison? You become the top shotter in prison? Come on, man. Is this what you really want to people? When you die, is this what your legacy you want people to remember you for evil? Even if you was doing evil, do it in the secret. Do your sins in secret. Don't publicize it. You're robbing the secure vans, you're going to get nicked. More time you're going to get nicked. And if you do get away, alhamdulillah, you got away with a little bit of money. What do you do with the money now? Because that money's haram. What are you going to do? Spend it on your kids? You're going to put fire in their bellies. You have to understand that everything you do has a reaction. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when you rob and do all of this evil, he just got something waiting for you. And at the end of the line, he just does something. Bam. And he does it not to destroy you, but to turn you back to him. So a lot of people will go to prison and they find their religion again. Because they were Muslim before, but they weren't practicing. They go to prison, they start praying 5 times a day, they stop smoking weed. To take these things that, if you take that same mindset from prison and you put it on road, you'll be the best believer. So you have to have that mindset. That's what you have to do. You have to start off by acknowledging that what I'm doing is evil and that I need to change myself today. I need to change myself. I need to change. Not for my mum, not for my dad, not for anyone else, but except for Allah. And if you start to study and understand this religion, you'll start to see that everything makes sense. The Sharia and not stealing and all this, it all makes sense. But you have to understand the religion.
Rashid, there's a man right now, right in his bedroom, supposed to be on YouTube, smoking spliff, eating Weetabix, and he's at the moment licking down people down for money and this, that, and the other. At the moment, and you got a chance to speak to him, what would you say?
I would say, look, the first thing here is all back to the Quran and the Sunnah and the Dalils and the Hadiths and stuff. The Prophet, you know, if it was allowed, we would all do it. If it was allowed to do this and that, we would do it. But Allah says that whoever nourishes himself with haram money, sustenance, is fire in his belly. So basically, that kind of means you're going hellfire, innit? Like, who wants to go hellfire? This fire is hotter. The hadith says it's 69 times hotter than this fire. It's like 70 times.
Yeah.
So who wants to burn? You know what I mean? We all want to make money, yeah, but if Allah's telling you that, that's the first thing. Just know that you got fire in your belly every time you eat these chicken and chips that you go and spend your £2 on. That's the first thing. The second thing is, you're giving dawah to 10 people. You might be giving dawah to 10 people or telling people about Islam. But you're selling drugs to like 60 people a week. You're doing about 60 transactions. Some of you are doing 100 transactions. Some of you are doing 5 big transactions. But you're getting all the sins because all them little young shotters, they're selling to everyone. And then that's like about 1,000 people smoking your spliff. So you're getting 1,000 sins and you're getting maybe one good deed for giving dawah, telling that person about Islam. You're just mashing up yourself. You're just basically on the way to the hellfire. And why do you want to give yourself an excuse to Allah? Like, here's a clear excuse to Allah, put me in the fire. One thing that helped me to stop shotting years ago is a hadith about the 10 people who are cursed. Yeah, it's authentic. Is that one of the people who are cursed is someone who delivers khamr. Khamr is like any type of drug or intoxicant. So if you deliver khamr, you're cursed. Yeah, by Allah. If you sell it, if you make it, if you profit off it, if you take it, if you help deliver it. There's about 10. I don't know all the 10. But when I saw that, I said, bro, I'm done with this.
SubhanAllah.
Who wants to be cursed? Like, if you read in a dictionary what cursed means, it means like, even if you're trying to go that way to Jannah, Allah will just push you that way to the fire. So,
SubhanAllah.
It's about knowing these things, inshallah.
Okay. Two more things. Okay. What advice? We always go on about the sisters about hijab and not going out the house unless it's necessary, and being shy and modest. But what would you say about brothers growing up in like London or England or America, yeah, who basically there's no Sharia here, we're not living under Islamic law, and they're going around clubbing every weekend, sleeping with bare girls, breaking their hearts, you know what I'm saying, dashing them after they've had sex with them a few times, and they've been doing this for about 10 years and they just carry on doing it and they don't really care. But yet when it happens to their sister, they want to bang man up or shoot man or this, that. Like, what advice would you give to the brothers that are living this lifestyle to make them reflect on the life that they live? Adnan.
It always goes back to the hadith of the young man. He came to the Prophet ﷺ and he says, I want to commit zina, I want to commit zina. And the Prophet ﷺ, instead of getting angry with him, he said, okay, would you like someone to do that with your mum? He says, no. He said, would you like someone to do that to your sister? No. Would you like someone to do that to your auntie? No. So why would you wish that on someone else's sister, auntie and mum? So you have to always remember that everything you do has a consequence. Everything that you do has a consequence, and you can't just go around mashing up all the gallon and think that it's not going to happen back to you. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has a fitna in life that they're going to go through, but there's a time in your life where you have to say that, you know what, I'm going to try my hardest to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to try my hardest, because it might be very hard for some people. You might find it very hard. They wake up and they're very lustful. You know what I'm saying? And the reason could be because of his diet. And I know this sounds very ajib what I'm saying to everybody, but a man who eats chicken and chips a lot and a lot of takeaway food, he has more of a desire to want to sleep with women. And a man who eats healthy and he stays healthy and he goes to the gym and does running a lot, he can control his desire more. And I'm not to sound racist or anything, but if you look at the foods in the stores and they're expensive, grapes are about £2.50. That's chicken and chips money right there. How much people would go and buy grapes or go and buy chicken and chips? Most people go and buy chicken and chips because they think it's going to fill them up. But them grapes are doing this better job because they're the same price or even expensive. So we have to ask ourselves questions. We have to change our diet, change the people that we're around, change listening to music. All these things if you really want to change. If you don't want to change and you like doing this to people's sisters, then one day when it happens to you, don't get angry in it. And don't try and say you're going to beat up anyone because you've been doing it for all these years. So what goes around comes around, but we don't believe that in Islam. We believe that Allah is the most just, and that when He does something to you, it's only because of what your own two hands have put forth.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Adnan. Rashid.
Same question.
Yeah.
it's just real like that. Like if it's all about empathy, putting yourself in other people's shoes. Like, would you like someone doing that to your mum? You know, when the Prophet ﷺ explained it to the young brother, he started to think of like, wow, okay. Like, imagine someone doing what you do to girls to your mum or your auntie or your cousin. Like, you can't get upset. Like, and it probably is happening. Especially if you're not teaching them nothing and you're letting them go away, and especially like, you know, you go to the house, all your friends are there, all your friends are probably onto your sister and you don't even know it. Like, it's just all peep, it's just all real.
So okay. Jazakallah khair for that. Okay, last question. What advice have you got for sisters who are girlfriends and they're gassed, yeah? They start thinking, oh, a guy asked me for my number, you know what I'm saying? He thinks I'm special, he thinks I'm the one, and like she's in love and this, that and the other. And she, like, because she's a girlfriend, she's proud of it. What advice would you give her to know the reality of her situation, about what she really is in the eyes of most men?
She's a link, she's a beat, she's a skeezer, she's a J-bag. She's nothing. She's dirt. This is what you are. You're nothing to man. Man doesn't care about you. You're nothing.
But she thinks she's the one.
Yeah, you think you're the one. You're the one that I use for Fridays. You're my Friday girl. That's what you are. And Saturday I got another one, and Sunday I got another one. But you are just Friday. That's all you are. What rights do you have? I don't have to give you no money. But ask it. Certain these men are linking you. When's he took you out to food? He takes you to chicken chip shop quickly because he doesn't want to be seen with you. Yeah, because you got a hijab on and he probably just mashed up himself. You have to ask yourself some proper detailed questions. You're a girlfriend. What rights do you have? You have no rights.
Why, for these sisters, I know you're a revert, you two brothers are revert or converts, whatever you want to call it. But for a sister that's born into a Muslim family, and maybe she doesn't wear hijab and she's a girlfriend and she's been approached and her head is flying and she's gassed and thinks she's so special. Why are you being so... She might say, why are you being so harsh with me and saying I'm just these things? He told me I'm his girlfriend. Yeah. What would you say to that?
Yeah, he told you that. Like I said, like my brother Rashid, whenever a man wants something from a woman, he would tell her every single thing that she wants to hear. But is it actually true? This is where the big lie comes in, because most of it's not going to be true. Because a man's going to say anything to get into your pants. A man will say anything. He'll say, I'm going to take my shahada tomorrow and I'm going to pray 5 times a day. I'm going to be upon the Salafi dawah. Wallahi, bi'idhnillah. He'll be a kuffar and he'll tell you, La ilaha illallah, just to get into your pants. As soon as he gets into your pants, you get pregnant. He says, hey, my baby. Take my baby. Whose baby's that? Well, you better get an abortion. I don't believe in abortion. What do you mean? You have to get an abortion now? My family will kill me. It doesn't matter what your family say. You're going to get an abortion today. Probably beat you up. He'll probably beat you up. Or get some girls to beat you up. You look at you like, who are you? You're nothing. And then tomorrow he'll be trying to get Mona. Next day he'll be trying to get Mona or Zainab. Yeah? He'll be like, Zainab, Mona, I know a little bit about the religion because he learned a little bit from you. Look at that. Some evilness. And this is what you want to bring into Islam.
SubhanAllah. Rashid.
Yeah.
The guy's just come up to her. He's just taken her number. He said, I'm going to text you soon. She's smiling. She's walking off. She thinks she's the one. Doves are coming out of the sky, you know, that everything's moving in slow motion. She thinks she's the one. What would you tell the reality of what's just happened to this sister?
This is the reality, yeah. Because you know, where I've grown up, we all used to. This is what we used to do in it, and it's a game. And you know what? I tell sisters and girls, look, if someone's coming up to you, yeah, and you've seen his swag, oh my god, he's chung, he swags this, he swags that, oh my god, he talked to me so sweet, he talked to me like this. You've just been roped in by something that's the face value, that's what you got sucked in by. I tell you this, why do you think he's so good at talking like this? How do you think he got so good at this? How do you think he got your number? How? It's because the Don's practicing every day. He's probably chirping 20 gal every day. Yeah? And I know about this thing, so it's about numbers. You chat to 20, 10 will chat to you, 5 will give you the number, 2 will actually meet you. All of that. But you see what? Yeah, the guy that comes to you and says, Assalamu alaikum, and he's all shaking and he's sweating and he's nervous. This guy, you won't give him time of day because you're like, look, move from me, man. Look at your trainers. Look how you're talking to me. He's not even confident. Yeah? But what you don't realise is that if you let this guy go past stage 1, yeah, Islamically, and meet your dad, he might be the best husband ever. And he might just stay with you and not go and look for other wives as you lot want. But the guy with all the confidence, yeah, and then you'd be surprised 3 months later he's kicking you to the curb, he's not involved no more. And he can do what he done to you, can get the same, another girl just the same way. So I say don't, these guys that are confident in that, be wary in it. Give a chance to the brothers who are coming for your Wali's number, who are approaching your dad. No, they're not weird or they're stalking me. They're trying to follow the sunnah. They're going to meet your parents, they're trying to talk to you, ask for marriage, you're like, but you want someone to speak to you on the phone, blow kisses, and you lot want to do this thing, and then when you divorce and it all breaks down,
it's over.
that's what it is.
Jazakallah khair.
Barakallahu feek.